Here we go. Hey, what's happening, all my Dragonlings? I am the Dragon God of Gaming, Damian Dragon, and welcome to another story time with Damian Dragon. Well, kind of a story time, but regardless. Today, I want to take you guys back to my school days, and let me tell you how an extremely lazy dragon was still able to be an honor roll student. Back in school, I was known as the quiet kid. Not very popular, but popular enough for people not to actively avoid, well, besides 1 year, but that's a topic for a different time. Being the quiet kid had its perks. I always gave off the notion that I was listening, but I really wasn't. First off, let me explain that rarely did I ever actually listen to my teachers when they were teaching. I normally looked forward while they were talking or given an explanation, but my mind was completely elsewhere. I like to call this feigned listening. The best thing I did was teach myself to spot when information that was being taught to me was important enough to retain or remember, and everything else was being tuned out. What most of you don't know was that most tests you will take will be on the ideas of the topic you are being taught, and if you can get the basic gist of the topic down, the rest will come naturally. Or in other words, as long as you absorb the basic understanding of any topic, you can guess 85% of all questions given to you about the topic. I actually, and this is no joke, guess on most tests I have taken throughout my years in school. And you must be wondering, wouldn't you fail most of your tests if you guessed? And my response is, no. As I said earlier, I learned to absorb only the basic information I needed and a few important things through the topic, and most of the time, that's all that testing is. The basic information about the topic and the random clips of information your teacher gives. On tests, I took my knowledge of the topic and filled in the answers I did know right off the bat. And on ones I didn't fully know, I would make an informed guess based on the basic information I learned to draw to the conclusion and what sounds right. You should be able to carry yourself to at least a C minus, and at best, an A plus. And with all that extra time, just daydream and think about being absolutely anywhere else but the classroom you're in. That's what I mostly did. If I'm being honest, being the reliable, quiet kid who really didn't get into too much trouble paid off. Most of the time I was told to listen to my phone or just use the computer. Anything as long as I'm quiet. So that's how I got through school with honor roll grades and being extremely lazy. Now, yes, I had to make that a script because let's face it, I'm not gonna remember all that information at one. But yeah, most of the time, everything boils down to, the basic knowledge and the basic information that you're being given at any given point. If the teacher is telling you some basic information, just basically learn enough to basically grasp the basic intentions of the topic that you're learning. And mostly everything else, you can basically draw to a conclusion based on the information given to you and the questions that are being asked of you, basically how to basically do just that. You can basically just guess on most topics that you're given. And that's what I mostly did. Most of the time I only guessed. And the funny thing is, most of the time that's what I did. And a lot of the time I got a B or higher. Basically just me drawing to conclusions about the topics I was given. No joke, I'm supposed to end this with a story. So let me give a small story. And I know this is a very small video, but I wanted to do a small story time video for you guys because, hey, you guys need to know a little bit more about me and some of my time that I would spend. Back in my last year of school, my 12th grade year, my senior year, I had just come back from me quitting school for 1 year. And yes, guys wanted me to do a story time and tell you guys exactly why I quit school that 1 year. I will go into detail, but when I came back, they had given me an entirely new schedule. But the funny thing is, that entirely new schedule was all the classes I have already performed and did. So most of the time, they had my they had all my work from the previous year, so they basically said why I was even there to begin with. So what they did was just told me to go home. All my work was done. I just needed to sign myself out and just proved I was there for at least one class. And that actually made it a little more better because I felt like, hey, I was so good at what I did. I basically passed everything, and if I failed something, they just handed it to me and just told me to retake it. So I thought that was actually a pretty cool tidbit, and I know that sounds ridiculous, like no respectful teacher would tell a student to do that, but what most of you don't know, and if you guys don't know what it is, I was an independent student, and what an independent student is my parents, well, my parent was not going to be involved in my school. After all the bull crap that I went through for the entire latter half of the year, my mother just said, just go in by yourself and you'll be fine. So I signed myself in. They couldn't call my parents, and I could sign myself out whenever the heck I felt like it. So all I had to do was go up to the office, give a reason, any reason, and I could literally and legally leave whenever I felt like it. So most of the time, my teacher was just like, "You've done your work. Your work is already done. You've already passed most of our stuff. So please, just you can sit back. You can listen to music. You can surf the web, or you can go and sign yourself out and go home." But my home, for me, for a walk was 2.5 hours, but I really didn't mind walking. Most of the time I stayed there specifically for my ex-girlfriend at the time, and to be honest, and a lot of the time I just was like, I just want to leave. So I thought it was funny. But yeah, that's exactly how an extremely lazy guy like me was able to get honor roll grades with basically just guessing my way through everything. And I hope this helps anyone else who will take a test. I know COVID-19 is still a thing, and if you have an option to please stay home from school during this pandemic, please God stay home. Please God stay home. Don't risk yourself or your parents or your grandparents or anyone in your family because school wants to be freaking stupid. Stay home and just do you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. If you guys want to see my last ever story time, or, well, this is kind of not story time, so I'm just going to call it story time. If you guys want to see my first and last ever story time, it was my trip to Disneyland. So guys, just go checking it out and seeing what wacky hijinks I've got up to in Disneyland. And if you guys want to hear more from me, subscribe and just talk to me. I'm always free, and I'm always one click away. If you guys want to hear some more crazy stuff that I've done, then just let me know down in the comment section below. And subscribe while you're at it, just to make sure that you catch that in the next video. But this is the end of the week of 3, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. Tomorrow we're going to be going back to our normally scheduled programs, so come in, join in on the fun. The fun never ends here, so click it so you do not miss it. Anyway, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, good gaming, happy hunting, and I'll see all you Dragonlings back inside the world of story times. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time for some more D.Dragon action. Peace.